Ranch School! Welcome to our candle making lesson. We have all kinds of different ways to show you how you can make candles at home. Teacher Becca is here with us today and she knows all about candle making. So I'm going to pass it off to her and she's going to teach you 3 different ways that you can make candles at home.
Hi guys! Today we're going to do 3 different types of candles. The first one we're going to do is beeswax candles using these beeswax sheets. We're going to make pillar candles, some twisted candles, and a rolled candle out of those. And then next we're gonna do candles in containers. And then the last one we'll have JJ and Tess with us, and we'll be using crayons to make these layered colorful candles.
And you can really use any kind of jar or vessels you have at home. You don't have to go out and buy jars for these. We've got all sorts of little different glasses and jars. And these make great gifts. So if you guys are looking for some holiday gifts to make or a birthday present, it's always nice to get something homemade, and these are really easy homemade gifts that you can gift for any occasion.
Lots of stuff you can just probably find in your kitchen. Let's get started.
We have a 16 by 8 inch beeswax sheet. We're going to measure and cut an 8 by 8 inch square. Now we're using a square braid wick to place at the bottom of the sheet. Leave about ½ an inch on each side. You'll want to start overlapping the wick with the beeswax before rolling. Since we're outside and it's a bit chilly, the beeswax sheet needs to be heated up. We're going to use a hair dryer set to low for about 30 seconds. Once the wick is covered, you can start to roll up the candle, making sure the top and bottom are even with the edge of the sheet. To make sure your candle stays together, use your fingers to press the edge of the sheet. Press the end of the wick to the bottom of the candle and press it down to seal the wick into the wax. Lastly, cut the top of your wick to about 1/4 of an inch. To make our twisted candle, we have another 8 by 8 beeswax sheet. Use a straight edge to make a diagonal line connecting 2 corners. Move your ruler to leave about 1 inch of space next to each corner. Cut across your guideline and you'll end up with a straight edge and a corner on each piece. We're going to heat up this sheet too. Just like our last candle, place your wick on the bottom of the sheet and start rolling. This time, only your base needs to line up with the edge of the sheet. Secure and cut your wick just like you did with the last one. Now we'll start our pillar candles. We're using 1 full 16 inch beeswax sheet, so we're going to measure and cut 4 4-inch sections. Depending on the size of sheet you have, you can cut many different sizes. We're going to place the wick at the bottom of one of the sheets and start rolling just like we did with the last 2 candles. When you reach the end of one piece, overlap another sheet on top and continue to roll until you have used all of your sheets. At the end, seal the sheets together and seal and cut your wick.
Now we're going to make container candles, and there's so many options of containers that you can use. We have old spice jars, honey jars, jelly jars, little tea lights, and these are from a yogurt container. So there are lots of options. You don't have to go out and buy any if you have some in your kitchen. We have about 2 inches of water in here, and we are going to set this to boil. You can also use a double boiler if you have one. So we're gonna put a pound of wax. These are the wax soy flakes. Now we have our pound of wax, and we're gonna do a makeshift double boiler here. We have our pot of boiling water, and we're just gonna stick this container on top. And then we will stir it down. And it melts pretty quickly, so this will not take long. Okay, so now we are going to be adding essential oils, so we need to take the temperature of this type of candle. We're going to use this thermometer and wait until it reaches 185 degrees Fahrenheit to add our oil in. So you just stick that right in here, and you can kind of keep stirring with it as you go. So we are right at about 185 degrees Fahrenheit, as you can see here. So now it's time to add our oil. It's 1 ounce per pound of wax that we use. So you just pour that right into your mix. We're gonna turn off the heat. So this is cooling down to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's very hot still. And once it reaches 135, we're gonna pour it into our glass containers. Going to pour in kind of a yellowish color, and it will turn white when it's fully dry. I would wait overnight before you take off these wick strips so you don't get any movement in the wax. But we are going to add some flower petals and some sprinkles when it's nearly dry, but not dry all the way. Okay, so the candles are nearly dry. You can see at the top that they're not totally melted, but that's what we want. So we're gonna add some sprinkles to this one. And I'm gonna take this off very gently. Normally you can let that wait more, but since we're adding stuff, I'm gonna put some flower petals on. And then you can wait till they totally dry overnight and snip the wicks to 1/4 of an inch, and you're ready to burn them.
So what are we doing today?
Lighting candles. Lighting candles. We're gonna make candles! Now we're gonna make crayon candles. first you peel this thing off the sticker rope. Then you stick it to the bottom of this thing. Then once it's stuck to the bottom, you peel the paper off and grab a jar, my jar, and then you put it right in the jar, right in the center. You press it down really hard, otherwise it will escape. And that's how you get your wick. Now we're going to turn the water on to boil. Becca, will you help me? While we're waiting for the water to boil, we're going to put a cup of wax in this container. Okay.
All right, girls, pick your crayon colors.
I like pink. And blue and purple
And then
Okay,
once you have your
so
colors, you're going to peel
Take it.
off the whole wrapper.
Okay. Now we're going to set this container on top of the boiling water so it will melt the wax inside. It's going to melt really quickly so that you can stir with a big metal spoon. Mr. Bull, shush! Now you're going to dump the crayons in and it'll color the wax. We have a wick bar and a clothespin. You can use both to keep the wick straight. For the clothespin, you gotta open it and put it right there, like that. Like that. For the wick bar, you go like this. You take that and it keeps it straight. You have to be careful when you pour it because your wax is really hot. To experiment with colors, we're going to add some crayon shavings.
Quick tip, we're gonna put this in the fridge so the layer dries quickly.
For this one, we've got some clear wax melted, and we peeled a lot of crayons to fill this jar. So we're gonna pour the hot melted wax into our crayon bits and make a real crayon candle. Let's hold the wick nice and straight.
You could just use a clothespin.
Look at that.
It's like ice because it just takes up most of the room.
Pretty cool, huh?
Now I get to add sprinkles. You want your wick to be about 1/4 and an inch tall. So you gotta put it right about there.
Thanks for making candles with us this week, Ranch School. We'll see you next time. Bye.